I'll be over at 10, you told me time and again, but you're late. I waited round and then I run to the door. I can't take anymore without you. You let me down again. Baby, baby, try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. I'll be home, I'll be beside the phone waiting for you.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Brew Crew Review, episode number 26. And on the panel today, we've got Chad Collins,
Hey.
Scott Bartell, Vince Travato, and yours truly. So we're going to kick off today's episode. We got a lot to bring for you. First of all, we're going to talk about the Brewers spring and some of the surprises of the spring. And also we're going to talk a little bit about the Brewers' first week of the season where they finished successful 5-1 homestand. And we're going to talk a little about the Ben Sheets injury update and also Derek Turnbull's contract extension. And later on in the episode, we've got Vince and I from the show here happen to be down in at Maryville and Peoria for spring training. We'll bring you a little bit of footage and from
not
our
just
trip
those
down
two
there.
places,
Yeah, a few
but
other
also
places as well.
Las Vegas and
We checked on Brewer fans in the entire Southwest, actually.
yeah, we did.
Before we start, could you talk about this
That's
new addition
exactly
to our
right.
set?
We want to thank Mr. Joe Rovat. He, of course, you saw him on one of our previous episodes where he was a great wood carver, and as you can see, doing a little replica of the guys here on the set. As we're seeing it now, there's a little bust of course, Chad Collins, Scott Bartell,
Yeah.
and both very, very much their likenesses. You see it there, we've got Chad and Scott. And then over on the right-hand side, just like on the set here, see an old wonky Brewer Cup, we've got Craig's and Vince.
Craig, executive producer Mueller, you look a little bit angry in that shot.
No, well, Scott wasn't listening to me, I'm sure.
It's like somebody was late for the taping or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sometimes it happens. Someone forgot their shoes or their shirt or something like that.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
type
good the
it
way of
out.
interns. Good the way of interns.
Someone forgot Scott's gummies. Something happened. But anyway, it's good to be back here, and baseball's back. We should kind of go through and pick someone on the Brewers who we anticipate this year is going to be a surprise player for the year, a breakout player. And I want to start by saying that he was my pick to really be someone that surprises me. Obviously, people didn't really know the players we acquired for the Overbay trade, a lot of casual fans. And I think Dave Bush is someone who just hasn't been given the opportunity fully to succeed at a major league level, so hopefully he can come through and break out here for the Brewers, have a great season. Is there anyone you guys look to this season to really, break out and turn some heads as a Brewer?
I think De La Rosa will be the surprise player for the Brewers because I think he got lost in the shuffle last year. Ned Yule showed some confidence in him on Saturday, put him in a tie game, pitched 2 solid innings. I think once he shows he can throw strikes and he's a proven arm and he was a critical part in the Sexton trade, I think De La Rosa is going to come out of nowhere and really make a big impact for the Brewers. I think a forgotten man that will step it up.
And I think he just needs the opportunity, and hopefully he gets it, whether it be in middle relief, situational lefty, whatever situation, I think he can excel at. Even if, we need a spot starter, emergency, throwing him in that mix. He started a lot, like in the Mexican leagues and also in the minors. So I think he's capable of doing that if given the opportunity.
It would probably be a little bit too easy to say J.J. Hardy after the second half of the year he had last year. He just really seemed to get a lot more confidence. He wasn't striking out in the first half, but he really wasn't swinging hard. I mean, it was like he was almost kind of just giving himself up for like a slow grounder or something like that as opposed to a strikeout. I really think, though, that this year he's been smacking the ball hard. It's pretty amazing. So, but for more of a surprise pick, if we can find a way to get him some at-bats, I think that Corey Hart's going to be the guy. That's the guy I'm going to say is
That's a good pick.
going to be a big surprise.
And if there's an injury to Carlos Lee or Jenkins or a possible trade at some point in the season, I think Corey Hart would probably be the number one candidate to get the starting at bat. So
He hasn't had one at bat yet, though. It's a little disappointing.
Yeah,
But
that is. But if given the opportunity, I think you're right, Scott. Well, we'll see, I guess, and see if this could be the year that we hear Corey Hart make some noise. So.
Well, I guess I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach than you guys did. I actually don't think there are going to be too many surprises on the team. I think that, like Scott alluded to earlier, we actually kind of know what we have with this group of guys. I think that we're going to have a very solid but young infield. I think that we're going to have an outfield that produces some fairly decent power numbers and maybe a little bit short on defense. But other than that, I think it's very solid. I think our catching core is going to do what they've done in the past couple of years. And I think our pitching is going to be what we expect it to be. So for me, I guess I'm not looking so much for a surprise or a sleeper guy on our roster. I hope that everyone just performs up to expectations, and I think it'd be a disappointment if we didn't know what we were getting rather than trying to hope for the best from somebody that we might not expect. So
That makes sense.
Thanks.
So there's one other thing that's one other thing that we were
I guess I never thought of that.
we were haven't talked about on our previous shows, and that was of course the injury that happened to Ben Sheets during spring training. And when we heard news that it happened, it sends shockwaves through the whole Brewer Nation. The fact that losing Ben Sheets, if we were to lose him for a significant amount of time or possibly even an entire season, how much it would really mean to the Brewers. So luckily the news is good on Sheets. He's been making some rehab starts in the minors, and he is scheduled to start on if everything goes as planned, hopefully he'll start on Easter Sunday in New York against the Mets, and then he'll be back as our number one starter. So that would be a huge, huge lift for the Brewers just the second week in the season. So that's great news. But just to go over that, this team this year, I think the key word we're hearing is that they've got so much depth. And I think that is true both at every position. If there's someone goes down with injury, we'd have somewhat of an adequate replacement. And if you think about the Milwaukee Brewers for the last 20 years, that's never been true. So that's one thing to really get excited about for the Brewers this year. Now, what do you guys think? In my opinion, Ben Sheets is the one player, our true ace pitcher, that if he were to go down for a significant part of time, we would not really be able to adequately replace him. Tell me, guys, tell me what you think as far as how much Ben Sheets means to the Milwaukee Brewers baseball club, and whether or not we'd be able to contend if he did have an injury, a significant one, where he'd have to miss a large part of the year.
Well, it's kind of weird. I mean, we're 5-1 without him, and last year when he got hurt and shut down, we actually had an incredible run without him. I remember Ben Sheets even joking around saying it looks like the team doesn't need me, they're doing better off without me around. But obviously, I mean, Ben Sheets is such a difference maker. He's one of the top premier pitchers. I know in our pre-production meeting we were going over our pitchers in the National League, and we spent a lot of time on that, and it was hard to pick like 10 pitchers in the National League that are better than Ben Sheets. I mean, when you lose someone like that, it really hurts, and it's hard to make it up. Brewers are doing great right now. We're 5-1 without him, but you need Ben Sheets. He's the anchor, he's the workhorse, and he is the star of the team.
He's almost like you would say like the you can't really give a captain position out to a pitcher, I guess.
Sure you could.
I suppose he could, but he's not. He's only out there every fifth day.
Yeah.
So you usually think of everyday players when it comes to that, but really, I mean, he is basically the captain of the pitchers. Without him, I don't know. I mean, it's like even people say like Jenkins, for example. Like even if he's not putting up those numbers, he's basically like the captain of our team. I mean, and if he goes down, it's a big deal.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Scott, for sure. I think that the team, he really can help carry a team. I think an ace pitcher can do that. Because in reality, when you're talking about an ace pitcher in a 5-man rotation, it's when their starts come up, no matter who they're facing in the league, you as a fan and as a manager and as your teammates just expect to win that day. When Ben Sheets takes the mound, I think there's some expectation that you're going to win. And it's really important, especially if the Brewers are serious about possibly making a run at contending for a wild card spot or a spot in the playoffs, if not this year. I would say next year for sure. So, I mean, you need a guy, in my opinion, for Sheets, especially if you're to, go against other ace pitchers in the league. You need a guy like Ben Sheets, and without him, I think it'd be really hard. I mean, and that's why they call pitchers like him stoppers, because if you don't go on too big losing streaks when you have ace pitchers, and it's because of that fact. If you lose 1 or 2 games with your 4th or 5th starters, you have that number 1 starter step in there and really, get you back on the winning track. So I think Ben Sheets is that type of player, and that's exciting as we go into the season, especially the fact that it looks like he will be healthy come the middle of April here. So that's great news. So.
And I like how the Brewers are playing this too. Luckily, in the beginning of the season, we have a lot of off days, so we only really need 4 pitchers to begin with. We don't have to rush them in. I'd rather just see them wait. You take advantage of the off days before they rush sheets in. Look at a lot of pitchers that have been rushed already. Eric Gagne's hurt already. It seemed like they were trying to rush his progress. I just like what they're doing. They're being patient, and they're looking at the big picture.
And we've been very fortunate, I think, getting back to the depth thing, that we have a little bit more now in our starting rotation than we've had in years past. And if you look at the numbers from at least the first week and what was expected before the season began, the combination of Chris Capuano, Doug Davis, Toma Oka, and Dave Bush has put up great numbers in this first week of the season. Now, if they can continue to do that, it's, baseball's a funny game, I think, where it's literally a day-by-day approach. I think that you have to play each game, and it's sort of hard to predict what could happen. And so every day, if you've got, Toma Oka on his game, you could win. And, Ben Sheets obviously provides a tremendous boost to the pitching staff. I think that you have to go out there with the mentality that we don't necessarily need one person in order for it to be a successful season. We need each guy to step up on a daily basis and play the game.
What's exciting, too, is going into Sunday's game, the Brewers their starters were leading the NL and ERA, especially when you look at all the scores that were going on the first week, just tons of scoring, home runs, unbelievable. And the Brewers put all their games in a hitter-friendly park, and they were still leading the NL and ERA. It's just around 2, so it's impressive what they're doing so far.
Yep.
So I think... Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, when you're touching on the depth of our pitching, this is actually the year that I suppose if Ben went down, well, for example, right now, the first couple weeks, as Chad said, we're not going to miss him for the first couple weeks anyway, because you figure if Ben was out there, we wouldn't be starting Bush. So it's like, right now, you could argue that for the last month anyway, if you really count spring training that much, he's been pitching better than anybody. So.
Yeah, and so because of so many off days in April, the regular teams normally don't need their 5th starter. They would skip their 5th starter and go around those off days. So yeah, your point is valid. The fact that coming off that hot spring, it's very important to probably have Dave Bush carry that over in the season, which hopefully he can do here.
Well,
and
along with Dave Bush, I think that you also have to look at another valuable asset on our team, a guy like Rick Helling, who's been able to be successful in the past. I know that, Craig, you've talked about this a lot in some of our pre-production meetings, but Helling is a guy that's been able to come in and provide a bit of not only veteran leadership, but also been a successful pitcher in the games. I guess taking a step further than what Dave Burba was able to do. Well, he was a nice presence in our bullpen. He was a guy that others looked up to. A mop-up guy, though. Yeah. Rick Helling came in last year and was lights out for August and September. Well, not last season. He wasn't. He pretty much saved us in September of last season. He kept us in the race.
Well, I think he earned his spot on the team by doing that, definitely.
Absolutely. And a former 20-game winner.
In case of injury, we have other options to our rotation. That's what I'm talking about, the depth of our team. Not only our solid starting rotation of Sheets, Davis, Capuano, Oka, and Bush. If any one of those guys go down to injury, we do have a viable backup, I guess. And Helling, and also at AAA, Dana Evelyn will be starting there, and also a prospect who's probably on the cusp of making the majors, and that would be Zach Jackson, who we saw down in Peoria during spring training. And I think he's got some quality major league pitches. He's probably not that far away from the big leagues if needed. But this is the difference between the Brewers now and Brewers 5 to 10 years ago, where if they had a prospect like Jackson in their system coming out of college, they'd rush him right to the major league level, a la Kyle Peterson or whatever, and force him when he wasn't really ready and not fully developed. So having those options at AAA, I think, are a great thing, too, which and we'll be visiting Nashville this year to kind of check out some of those guys we do have down there in case they'll need to help out the Brewers up here at Miller Park this year, later in the year.
You mean to tell our viewers around the state and West Dallas that the era of Sid Roberson and Jeff Bronke is over?
Yes, that's a very exciting thing, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
All right. But let's move on to our next topic real quick, and that's Derek Turnbow, our closer, who, as we speak, is leading the majors in saves so far, of course, with the Brewers' hot start. Just before the season started, we finally agreed to a contract extension with Turnbow, who after this season would have been arbitration eligible, and we signed him to a 3-year deal for $6.5 million. What do you guys think about this signing by the Brewers?
Well, it's exciting when you break down the actual numbers in the contract. I think that it works out to the Brewers' advantage. You're getting a tremendous deal, and you're making an investment, of course, by providing, I think, 3 years in the deal. But at the same time, I think it's a wise investment because you have the ability to have a pitcher here who not only has pitched well for us last season, obviously it was a breakout year. This season he's pitching well, but also seems to enjoy it in Milwaukee. I think that's important to establish. I think one of the turning points that we had with the current, set of mentalities in Milwaukee is when we signed Jeff Jenkins to a multi-year deal, and it was a star player, a relatively star player, saying that he wanted to be in Milwaukee and stay here. I know that when Chad did the interview with Derek Turnbow last season, there was it seemed like a genuine interest on Turnbow's part to be in Milwaukee and an appreciation that a team like the Brewers gave him a chance, a team that was on the rise. I don't know if you got an impression when you talked to him or not, Chad, but it seemed like it was an exciting time for him to make a commitment now to the Brewers and say he was going to be here for a few more years at a relatively cheap price.
Yeah, sure. We interviewed him in May, I believe, at the time, and he was very excited, even though in his calm demeanor. But I just think it's a steal all around. I mean, what I like about this, and I talked about this in episode 24, I know everyone has it DVR'd if you want to go back and check it out. But I just like how the Brewers are making commitments to their players. They're rewarding people. They're showing commitments. Like you said, Jeff Jenkins got a long-term deal. Brady Clark got an extension. Hopefully Doug Davis will get an extension. Doug Melvin's got an extension. Ned Yost's got an extension. It's showing that, hey, if you do a good job, we want you here. We're going to take care of you. No longer are the Brewers just passing people by. We're locking up our players. And when you look at what's going on with relievers right now, B.J. Ryan just got an outrageous deal.
Right.
Relievers, Billy Wagner just got signed a ton of money. Setup guys are getting paid tons of money. Bobby Howry got paid tons of money by the Cubs.
Yep.
Turnbull only making $2 million a year, even if, God forbid, he does falter or get hurt. $2 million a year in this day for relievers is not a bad deal at all.
No lose situation. There's just no way. I mean, I think it was a great deal. I like the fact they point out B.J. Ryan because, in my opinion, I think he's a comparable talent to B.J.
Sure.
Ryan, with probably even could get better than that. So I mean, and what B.J. Ryan's contract was 5 years at $47 million. So that's
crazy.
That's almost $10 million a year, and we just got Turnbull for just over $2 million a year. So that's a great discount for the Brewers to take advantage of. And some people argue like, well, we didn't need to sign him. He wasn't eligible for arbitration. Why give him the money this year? I think he's already earned that, as we saw in the first week of the season already. I think that he's a great closer mentality, and I think he's going to be a fan favorite in Milwaukee for a long time. And he's going to be well worth that contract.
I just like the rewarding too. I mean,
Yeah.
The Brewers are locking up their players. They're showing an investment in their players. And I mean, granted, we're biased towards Turnbull and we like him, and we've been at Miller Park for every game this year. And when he comes out of that dugout and Metallica's Fuel is playing, the whole place goes crazy. And just seeing him on the scoreboard, it's a great thing and it's cool. But wouldn't you rather have Derek Turnbull than like an Armando Benitez, who got a ton of money from San Francisco, who's always breaking down? I mean, it's only a $2 million investment a year, and the way the market is for closers, I just think it's an unbelievable deal. It's a win-win for everyone involved.
And I think it just shows the sheer genius
Scott had a rough day yesterday.
I almost fell
of
asleep.
Doug Melvin.
Rough one this afternoon,
Come
too.
on, Scott, stay with us. But
Oxygen, intern.
But yeah, they gave me enough Red Bull like they did to me. But anyway, I just think that this is just another example. Turnbow, I just love the guy myself because again, he was someone that we picked off the scrap heap, or not we as in Melvin. Melvin did a great job. The Angels didn't want him anymore, and he was just another diamond in the rough, a gem that Doug Melvin picked out, and he's turning to pure gold for us. And I think it's going to be really key. And the depth of our bullpen, in my opinion, right now is pretty ridiculous. And I think that's one thing that a lot of casual fans really overlook is how important of a bullpen is to your team to stretch those last 3 innings of most games. And I think ours has got great depth right now with Cole back. If he returns to form like he did from 2 years ago, we're going to be rock solid. We got Capian, who's young but getting better every outing pretty much, and then someone like Matt Wise is probably one of the most underrated middle relievers in all of baseball. And then even deeper, De La Rosa, Helling,
Justin
Lair
Lair
has
pick
been
up the
pitching
win.
good. And then like we said, we even have other options at AAA, even in middle relievers like Chris DeMaria or Mike Adams. So really, if you think about it, this we're just loaded and ready to go here as we head into the season.
And real quick on Turnbull, I know on our website, brewcrewreview.com, it's a great website, check it out. We posted about Derek Turnbull's speculation. Should we sign him to an extension? We were all guessing 3 years, $9 million, 3 years, $10 million, by the way the market was going. We discussed it on our web chat that we'd like everyone to join. People were saying maybe 3 years, $10 million. I think, Scott, you were saying 3 years, maybe 10, 11 million. I was shocked when I saw 3 years, $6 million. I thought it was a great deal, and the way the market for closers is, I think it's just a great steal. I can't say how excited I am about the signing. But.
Yeah, we were talking, 3 years, $9 million, $10 million, and we thought even that was going to be really hard to be able to get an extension for him. And what happens, I mean, $6.5 million, amazing. It's just a great signing.
Doug Melvin.
Great,
Doug Melvin
great.
again.
cheers to Mr. Melvin as we move on here, and the Brewers, of course. But anyway, so let's go ahead and go to that segment. Quick highlights of Brewers on Deck 2006. We'll be right back.
No, they get a chance to interact, get autographs, buy some things, to get a head start on everybody else, all the other fans. Plus, they get to interact with a lot of the players, as opposed to when the caravans, we used to bring 2 or 3 players, and you'd have to spread them out into different cities. So somebody might have a favorite player, but he's not on their part of the caravan. Today, you can come out here and get to wave to your favorite player and maybe even get his autograph and talk to him.
Your relationship with Gordash, you guys, a couple of Canadians with different kinds of personalities. It seems like your personalities, your strengths and weaknesses are really complementary. You mesh well. What are your thoughts on the way you work with Gord and what strength he gives you?
Well, Gord's got great experience, and he's experienced in scouting, player development, but he's great at bringing issues to the table to me, and then we decide whether it's something you pursue or you don't. You know, the one thing is very good at not letting any surprises come and catch up on me and that. But no, he's got a great personality. He deals well. He's respected by the coaches, the players, and that. I've always told them from my first meeting in spring training, my first meeting, I tell them, I said, hey, when you're talking to Gordash, if I'm not available, it's like you're talking to the general manager. I said, if you have a problem, you can address it with Gord too, because Gord will let me know. We communicate. There's no back door to what we do here. Whatever you're talking to Gord about, he's going to get to me. And whatever you talk to me about, I'm going to share with Gord. And we have that trust with each other. And then that's the most important thing. You can't operate any company, you can't operate any ball club if you don't have trust within your ranks or the people that are working. And we trust each other that we'll make decisions. He'll push me at times and say, geez, I think we should do this, and he'll push me and push. And I'm probably a little more calculated. I want to sit back and I'll look at it and be calculated and make sure it's the right thing before you do it and that. But Gord's been in the GM's position before too, so he knows what his job is as an assistant. He knows as a GM what his role is to bring things to the table for me. Player development, scouting issues, they can go through Gord, and then he basically phases out the things that aren't important, brings the important issues to me.
Oh, we're back. And
Hello.
that was a little bit of highlights from the Brewers on Deck event. And now we're to Scotty's favorite segment, I guess, and that's stepping up to the plate. Today, Scotty didn't prepare the questions, so
Nope.
Chad did, though, this time. It's Chad's turn, and he's going to fire them off here. And we've got Scotty wide awake now.
I don't know about wide awake, but
and
the interns
he's ready to answer some of these questions. So, Chad, whenever you're ready, rip them off here. We'll start off with the first question, first inning.
I gotta say, actually, the intern gave me medicine that causes drowsiness.
Is
she wasn't
the intern
supposed to
also
do that,
a
actually.
bartender?
No, but I'm thinking our intern Angela should be fired. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
wanna.
You know, by the way, I'm not wearing a collared shirt or a tie. Angela did not pick up that from my dry cleaning.
Angela was a
I'm
recent
very upset
hire.
after about a collar here.
Angela was a recent hire from Marquette University. I suppose, though, if the consensus is to fire, Angela, I'm sorry, but you've been let go.
Hey, take care.
Thanks for coming in.
Brick
This,
sets.
this,
Have a nice life.
Yeah, no, this is an opportunity for me to actually ask you in the audience that if you are interested in becoming an intern for our show, the Brew Crew Review.
Actually, no, we got one for our road trip.
So as the intern, part of my job
Well, we lose interns at a fairly frequent clip for some
It's high
reason.
demand, but
Might as well just have like
Yeah,
10
if
of
you-
them.
We need one for here. We had like us.
Yeah, if you're interested in becoming an intern for the Brew Crew Review, please email me at vince@brewcrewreview.com with a resume, a letter of introduction attached. We have deals worked out with most of the area colleges. I know Marquette, UW Milwaukee, Concordia, UW Madison, actually, and Alverno have all sort of worked
And
with us
Whitewater.
in their
Whitewater
Whitewater
just
business
signed up.
department, actually just signed on as well. So please email us if you're interested in becoming an intern for our show, and we'll be sure to get back to you in a prompt fashion.
All right, question number 1. How many All-Stars will the Brewers have this year?
Where do you
Scott,
start
begin
off?
with
Scott.
you.
3, do I have to name them?
Sure.
I don't know who they are going to be.
Okay.
3 All-Stars.
I don't know why
Great
not.
pick, Scotty. I hope so. That's awesome.
I think Carlos would be an all-star again. Let's see. I think JJ might be able to sneak in as an all-star.
All right. And?
Ben?
All right. Good picks. There we go.
All right.
All right.
Actually, Turnbow's got to be kind of a no-brainer, you'd think.
That would be 4
That's a
then for you, though,
possibility.
Scott.
Scott,
It's
how
not
many
3.
All-Stars?
But
we have?
oxygen is
Yeah.
helping.
Actually, this is
Three of
supposed to be a
those
quick
4.
segment.
Someone's
so,
gonna
yeah.
get someone's
Right,
gonna get
3 out of-
snubbed. I
It's supposed to
bet.
be a very quick segment.
They'll probably snub. Oh, go.
EP Mueller, you're
I'm
next.
gonna-
Oh, go ahead, Vince.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2. I'm going to say J.J. Hardy and Derek Turnbow.
All right. Unfortunately, I'm gonna go with 1. I don't know who it's gonna be. I'm gonna guess Turnbow, but unfortunately, 1.
And I'm going with 2. I'm going to say J.J. Hardy and Derek Turnbull. I thought I'd be the only one with Hardy. I'm a little upset, but you guys are very smart. Number 2, which brewer will have the most wins this year for a pitcher? It's going to be a tight race.
Good question.
Scott, you're right
Craigers.
again.
Craigers.
Oh, you want me to start? Okay. I'm gonna go with Ben Sheets.
I'm going to go with Doug Davis, actually. I think that he's going to get a little bit more run support.
I would say if Bush was our 4th starter, I would have said him. But since he's our 5th, so he's not going to start as often, I'm going to go with Doug Davis as well.
Thanks.
Scott stole my thunder. I would have said Bush if he was the number 4, but I'm going to say Doug Davis as well. I'm afraid Sheets won't have enough starts to topple Sharpie. Question number 3, what will the Brewers' road record be this year? When we were talking to one of our former guests, Mr. John Barnes, he said the key to the Brewers will be having a 500 road record. What do you guys think the road record for the Brewers will be this year? I think it's Vince's turn.
I would say we're going to finish about 500 actually on the road. I think that he's absolutely right. It's kind of the key to have at least a decent road record and hopefully add a couple games onto that as well. But I'll say 500 right now. Be conservative.
Yeah, I'm gonna go just under 500. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I think just a couple games under 500 on the road, something like 38 and 43 or something like that.
Yeah, I'm going to say just a few games under 500. I was going to say, thinking with my head here, not my heart.
It has to equal 81.
It has to equal 81. Okay, so a few under 500.
Listen to him. He teaches
Scott, you know what
Because
happens when you
that's
think
math.
with your head and not your heart. You know what
Right.
happens.
But that's why I kind of use those general terms
Okay.
as opposed to hard numbers.
Okay.
And I got the
Round
Brewers
numbers,
at 39 and 42. It's amazing, you guys. We all think alike. But smart men think alike. Question number 4. Will the Brewers make a major trade at the All-Star break this year? You think this year will be finally the year we pull the trigger? Scott, it's with you.
Depends on if we have any major injuries. I mean, if everybody's healthy, I don't see why we'd have to.
Craigers?
All right, I'm going to go with no, and that's, or I'd like to say, ask me again a little bit later in the season.
Right.
But I'm going to say, at this point, if everything stays the way it is, I'm going to say no, because I think we have very few needs right now.
Okay, I think the point of the question is to speculate and say what might happen now instead of later on. We're going to have make a trade for a starting pitcher. It's not going to be the trade that many were talking about, where we trade Carlos Lear, one of our better players. I think we're going to pick up a starting pitcher.
I don't see why we couldn't. I mean, if we needed like one more guy in the bullpen, we can throw
Scott,
some
rapid fire, sorry.
prospect that'll never ever get anything like we used to do for our relievers. We'll get some prospect that'll never make it up anyway. So yeah, we could get maybe a reliever or something like that. thrown in.
You got to love
All right,
Scott. He's
fifth.
Well, that was my quick. I'm gonna say yes. This is the year we're gonna pull the trigger. The Brewers are having very high attendance, and I think Mr. Melvin and Mr. Antonazio are going to step up to the plate and reward the high attendance.
All right, what inning we're in?
We're in inning number 5.
All
What's
right,
the biggest
let's do
difference
this.
between the 2005 Brewers and the 2006 Brewers? Craigers, your turn.
Well, I'm going to have to say depth, and then I can leave it at that, but I'd say in the rotation and on the offense, basically.
Besides depth, team confidence, I think that we expect to win this year. 500 is not good enough.
Scotty.
Yeah, I can't say the same thing as them, but that's it. Yeah.
Are you awake?
We got it,
Just
Scotty.
barely.
Do you need a transfusion?
Coffee.
Pint of blood. I'm going to say
Coffee, Scott.
it's the exact same thing. I mean, what the Brewers have in depth with Gabe Gross coming off the bench and Corey Hart won us 2 games already with Gabe Gross's big 2-run homer and his 2-run RBI. Gone are the days of Trent Darrington and Chris Magruder, and having a solid number 5 starter. So I think exactly depth and just better all around. All right, number 6. Will Bud Selig's new panel, headed by George Mitchell, prove itself to be of any worth, or will it be just a fruitless investigation? It goes to Vince.
Yeah, I think that it's a good step. I think that historians are going to appreciate it because someday we'll be having some records and some things to look back at from an official point of view. It all depends, I guess. I'm taking the easy way out here, but John O'Dowd was, I think, a good pick by Bart Giamatti to take on Pete Rose. This is a larger investigation, bigger scope, but hopefully it has some sort of the same effects and provides some integrity to the decisions that Selig will have to make.
I think it's a day late and $1 short. I think that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I think the steroid area is over. Pretty much, I just think that this is, they're going through the motions, and I think that this will put an end to steroid use in baseball. But again, I think this is like a reaction to things finally coming to the forefront. So I think it's just too late. But
I was going to go with too little too late as opposed to.
Yeah, that's better, Sky. That's actually more on whatever I said.
Wouldn't it be cool to watch some asterisk-free baseball? Is that?
It's never been asterisk-free baseball. Go back to the spitball, go back to anybody that's been involved with the game. There's always been cheaters, there's always been people that's part of baseball. So,
Like Jesse the Body Ventura used to say, it's not cheating if you don't get caught. But anyways, I don't think it's too late. I think Selig wants his legacy is going to be to get baseball rid of steroids. But he's trying, but it's too late. Too late information. All right, question number 7. What Major League ballpark that the Brew Crew Review has not visited yet would you like to visit the most in planning for next year, or maybe even this year? Scott?
Oh, absolutely Fenway. I really want to go to Fenway.
Scott, that won't fit in the budget.
yeah, well, we got raises.
Oh, it's not part of the question.
No, we got raises.
okay.
Yeah.
I really want to go, though.
Let's hold the telethon. Let's hold the telethon
Just
here.
for Scotty to go to Fenway, yeah.
Telethon to
I don't
see
think it should be a
Scott.
problem. People in Milwaukee have huge hearts and
Deep pockets.
small wallets, unfortunately. Oh, well. But who's next?
You are.
Where's the next? Well, let's see. Where should we go? Fenway would be nice. But I'm going to say Major League Park, did you say?
Yep.
Yeah, Traders.
I'm going to say Cleveland.
In-studio audience
Jacob.
like that one.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to go, I think, to the West Coast a little bit. It sounds like an archaic pick, but I'd actually like to see Dodger Stadium. I think there's been a lot of history there and never been to Dodger Stadium before, so it's my pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Scott to Fenway. I always wanted to see Fenway and the Green Monsters. So, question number 8, crucial question for programming. Should we never show the picture of our private detective ever again? He says it's costing him business. Should we never show his flip face again on our
Oh, you mean Mark?
screen?
Well,
Mark A.
Antoniak,
But if you
yeah.
want to show us a picture real quick, we have the audience
Mark
decide.
Antoniak,
Gregors, should we not
Should we ever
his
show
photo?
it again? It depends on if I'm contacted by his attorney again. If I'm left with any more messages, I'm probably not going to be able to do it. But
Yeah.
if not, I think we're in the free and clear here, and I'm going to use it at least once an episode if possible.
I enjoy the pink shirt. Personally, I think that it's sort of a fashion trend that he and only he appreciates. And President said, I appreciate the trend setting. So, yeah, Private Detective Mark Antoniak should
Plus,
be shown on
he-
TV.
he's a key. This man is a key cog to our softball championship, actually, of 2005. So, I mean, he's got to get his props.
Picture Robert Redford as a chain smoker. Eating
bologna by the pound.
Yeah.
Eating bologna by the pound
With a
and
grain.
bacon.
It's Mark Antoniak.
Scott, what's your answer?
He's an
I realize it's a security risk, but for our fans that don't know the picture, can we just put the picture up?
No, well,
Or that just kind of defeats the
Oh,
whole
there it is.
Oh, no.
Antoniak. Hopefully our attorney will not be in touch with his attorney and the station won't have to be under
Yeah.
legal constraint.
I
in
say
the
show the
future.
picture. I like the grin in the strut. I think it's kind of cool. And here's the big question, number 9. We hate to toot our own horns, but a lot of our fans don't know this, but the Brew Crew Review is up for 3 Waspies this year, right?
Wapsies.
Wapsies.
Whammies.
Whammies.
Wapsies.
Scott likes to call them whammies,
It's
but they're
excellence in
wapsies.
Wisconsin broadcasting. We're
right.
up for 3. How many are we going to win out of 3?
Oh, that's tough.
It's pretty tough. How many of these awards are we going to win?
Do we have 3 or 2?
We're up for 3.
We were?
How many are we going to win?
Were we
Scott?
really? I don't know. I guess I would say 2 because I don't know if we're excellent yet, but we started off as rookies and we're kind of progressing. So yeah, I'll go with 2.
I don't know. For this year, I think sometime in the future, I'm hoping that we do win one. But this year, I'm going to have to get 0 just because I think we're lacking in the wardrobe and the staying awake on the set department.
Oh,
But
yeah.
besides that, I think next year we'll have something to strive for. But
Well, I
Thanks, Angela.
well, I guess that I'm going to have to go with 2, not because I have any inside knowledge about this, but because I have an inside source. There was a guy.
Tom?
This guy works over at
TC?
right.
Our brewer source,
Tom
Just
Tom
T. Carter?
Carter is the T
I thought we were going with T. Carter.
T Carter or Tom C. We can't reveal his name on the air.
all right, well, that wraps up our stepping up to the plate segment. Good job, Chad. Those are
Thank
great
you.
questions.
Great questions. Nice job.
And so now
Balance.
for our next segment, we're actually going to recap. We have a little bit of video, actually, and we're going to go live on location. Vince was able to take a road trip out to spring training. It was quite an adventure. I was driving the car and running the camera for most of this.
Driving pretty successfully, I heard, too. I don't know
Yeah,
if you
Our executive producer may or may not be getting about 30 speeding tickets mailed to him from the fine folks at the Arizona Highway Patrol. They've cut down on their actual patrols. They're now mailing tickets out, and it takes about 3.5 weeks to get up to Wisconsin. So when you do 105 and a 65, generally you may get some speeding tickets, especially when you don't have a side mirror that actually works, a bumper in the front or the back, and a hole in the bumper that does exist.
Those
in the
bumpers
back.
look pretty sturdy, but they...
Yeah, well, after
Kinda
a Mexican
fragile
trailer hits it, you never know what could happen.
What's the correlation of car damage and F-bombs? Was there any?
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate for the air, actually. I had to. Our executive producer may or may not have had a sit-down intervention done with him that tried to limit the amount of curse words that were used. Words that started with an F.
Yeah, let's just go to the footage.
Or
I
an
think,
S,
and then,
A,
but we've got some
C,
on-location things with
if our
Vince, and we'll do a little bit of a recap maybe when we're all done.
And our studio intern has not been fired yet because of the fact that
SOB.
she is able to cut many of these things off the actual conversation on the set. So that's one intern that has not been fired. So.
Yeah.
All right, this is your favorite TV show, the Brew Crew Review, coming at you from Route 66 in New Mexico. As you can see, the road and the day today is a bit windy, but the Brewers flag is hanging proudly in the breeze here off of the historic trail of many people before crossing from Chicago to LA. So, yeah, Route 66, you can see the sign. I know that a lot of Brewers fans in West Dallas and around the state of Wisconsin are going to be very interested in this. But we're here representing your favorite team on our way down to spring training 2006. Might want to watch that barbed wire. Hey, Greg, why don't you just try climbing right there where there's no barbed wire? Oh. Yeah, go ahead. All right, this is yeah. All right, this is Vince Travato along with executive producer Craig Mueller here with the Brew Crew Review. We've somehow stumbled upon a deserted spa that also offers table showers and body rub downs here in New Mexico. We figured that we try to catch this on tape for any of you Brewer fans that were interested in coming out here to Old Route 66 and checking out this place. All right, Brewers fans, we're here in Happy Jack, Arizona, a day later from our New Mexico report, but still actually haven't made it to Phoenix. Guessing that the game today is probably going to be canceled, and the Brewers and Angels will not be battling one out in the sun. As you can see, the snow here in Arizona is actually heavier than the snow in West Dallas and all around Wisconsin, so consider yourselves fortunate to be sitting where you are, rather than out here in this national forest in Happy Jack, Arizona. But hey, the stories are good, the baseball is coming, and we'll be in Mexico within a week, so we're all looking forward to getting down there. In the meantime, enjoy this unique view of Arizona's winter season, which happens to be the 2 days that we're actually in state so far. So enjoy the view, and hopefully we're not coming at you later from a tow truck or a plow's back seat. Signing back to you at the studio, Scotty. All right, Brewers fans, we're here in Happy Jack, Arizona, a bit of a detour from our intended destination of Maryvale, where the Brewers are holding their spring training games today as we speak, unless they've been canceled due to this inclement blizzard. You can see behind us a post office. We're exploring a bit here in Happy Jack while we're here. The hours seem to state that they're open, but in fact they're closed. The blizzard has pretty much shut down everything, including the mountain roads that we were broadcasting to you from before. So we're not sure exactly what we're going to do. We're probably going to try to barrel through, see how it goes. But we'll get it all on tape. Since it's live, you'll get it in the studio, Scott, and you can play it for our viewers. Hopefully we'll be cheering on the Brewers later on today, or if the games are canceled, we're down in Maryvale by tomorrow and not deceased or laying in a ditch somewhere. Saved by an Arizona Highway Patrolman who we'd like to thank earlier earlier in the day. So, Officer Dormitz, we'd also like to extend a note of appreciation from all of our fans because you're all, I'm sure, glad that we're doing all right and are safe out here. So, we'll be back to you from some point along the road in Arizona after this. And until then, go Brewers.
Wow, I guess you guys really found some inclement weather out there. I sure hope they can get out of it. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe we should try to get back to them.
All right, Brewers fans, we, I think, left you last from New Mexico. We are now in Old Mexico on our way down to Puerto Penasco, or Rocky Point for you spring break veterans. So you can see the landscape behind me is a bit unique. It's arid, very much the desert tradition of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. But we're really in the middle of nowhere. A few cars are passing by here, and we might be the first Brewers fans that have come down this road with the express intent of bringing you, Brewers fans, a sort of first-hand account of what it's like to be a Brewers fan here along the Mexican highways. So if you'd like, come join us in Puerto Penasco later tonight. I know this is live in the studio here for you, Scott. Make sure the viewers get the message right away so they can join us down in Puerto Penasco for the next 2 days. All right, Brewers fans, and Scott to the studio. We're signing off.
Well, it looks like they got out of trouble there. Looks like those crazy Brew Crew Review boys just keep getting in more trouble. Well, I guess we got to see how far they can get because I know they're live all the time, but let's see how far away they can get from there.
All right, Brewers fans, we're here in Mexico at the Rocky Point area. You can see the Sea of California behind me, the view spectacular. The sunset is just finally fading down into the sea after we've enjoyed a nice seafood meal here at one of our favorite new restaurants. Brewers spring training was a bit of a letdown with the Brewers losing to the Cubs, but we were once again very glad just to be out of the snowy covered mountains. But after spending only 1 day in Phoenix, we decided to come down to Mexico and are now enjoying Rocky Point and the surrounding area. So as you can see, it's beautiful right here on the Sea of California. And if all of you fans out there in West Dallas and around the state would like to journey down to Mexico, I would certainly recommend it. But be careful if you take that lit up boat that's straight out there of paying a $5 deposit. That's American dollars in the morning, because you are not guaranteed drinks and you are not guaranteed food with your $5 purchase, and they might mislead you just a little bit. If you talk to a man named Jose, you could tell him that we're very, very agitated with him and are now putting this announcement on state access in the state of Wisconsin. I'm sure that'll cost a lot of business for him. In any case, we're going to be here still for a bit tomorrow before we head back to Arizona. May spend another day or two at spring training. We may go to Las Vegas, but either way, I'm sure we'll be back with you and let all you fans out there join us on our road trips. And we're looking forward to a very exciting next few days here before coming back to beautiful West Dallas, Wisconsin. Vince Travato, signing it off. Back to you, Scotty.
Well, it looks like you guys are having a great time there. Looks like you're hanging out with a lot of self-respecting Brewer fans that are having a lot of fun, and I'm reasonably sure that you're having a better time than me right now. Well, back to you guys.
All right, Brewers fans, we're here in Puerto Penasco again, coming at you from a scene where, as you can see, we are representing your Brewers. My Take Back Miller shirt is proudly on. We're playing the Pittsburgh Pirates on opening day, April 3rd, 2006. And we're trying to drum up a little bit of support for both that game, just an exciting start to the regular season, but then also the Cubs series coming up. We don't want the Cubs fans down here. So, getting back to tonight, you can see in the background, we have a lot of baseball fans down there. Last evening, there was 6 people with a Brewers hat on, and we've got a large crowd assembling again tonight. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to be talking baseball with a lot of fans. We're going to hopefully get a lot of video for you. This is a huge metropolis for baseball fans to come and relax for a few days between spring training games. Fans will come down from Maryville, Peoria, Mesa, Scottsdale, various cities in Arizona just to rest, relax, and kind of regather their strength and their energies to get ready for the end of the exhibition season and the start of the regular season. So 2006 fast approaching. Lots of baseball fans. We're in Mexico, and we're going to be back with you shortly with some interviews with some great baseball fans. We'll be back with you soon. Scotty, take it away. I'm Vince Travato for the Brew Crew Review.
Oh, hello. I was just wondering if there's really anything better than the 1983 tap set. It makes me wonder, actually, where's Uncle Junebug been?
All right, Brewers fans, this is Vince Travato from the Brew Crew Review here on location in Ajo, Arizona, where we've decided to make a short but sweet detour as we have found the home of our long-lost colleague, Nick Zeno, known to all of you familiarly as Uncle Junebug. Now, executive producer Mueller, try to get this footage here. We stopped on the side of the road here in Ajo, and we found Junebug's Boutique. It's a salon, beauty supplies, tanning, nails, and gifts, one-stop shopping spot. And also conveniently located across the street from Amigos Liquor and Party Supplies, which I'm guessing is where the proprietor, Uncle Junebug himself, is recently relocated to because he's not home. The boutique store is closed. It's a Wednesday afternoon, so it obviously is where he is here in Ajo, Arizona. Now, at one time, longtime viewers of the show, I know that you already know this, we gave out his number as being 414-687-8888. For future reference, that number has changed. And executive producer Mueller, look at the number here on the sign. Don't know the area code, but it's 387-4438. So any of you ladies who are looking to get a hold of Uncle Junebug, call that number, come down to Ajo, Arizona. It's home to a lot of Brewers fans here in the Valley. And I'm sure that he'll be able to satisfy your every need here at the beauty supply store. So Uncle Junebug, the state of Wisconsin, everybody, we're going to sign off from being live here and send it back to Scott at the studio.
This can't be right. Oh, I'm actually getting word that Craig and Vince are at the Hoover Dam. All right, going live to you guys.
All right, Brewers fans, we're here at the Hoover Dam now. It's the actual four-state corner area of Colorado, Utah, Arizona, and Nevada. Coming through at about 11:10 here at night and enjoying a great view. There's still actually some construction apparently going on at the dam as we just passed through a construction zone. But if you look down behind me, you'll see that the dam is actually quite a scene, as might be expected from a major engineering project for the United States government in the 1930s. All right, Brewers fans, we're here now in Las Vegas, coming back at you. As you can see behind me, the city is all lit up. We're ready to go. There's a lot of Brewer fans out there to talk to. Here with both Brandon and executive producer Mueller, and I think we're all looking forward to a great night out in the town to try to talk to as many people as possible who are into baseball and into the Brewers, who came down here to rest for a few days from Maryvale. All right, Brewers fans, welcome to another stop here on our grand spring break tour. We're here now in Las Vegas, Nevada, where you can see the lights of the city shining behind me. Obviously a chaotic scene. Obviously the home of lots of Brewer fans. The reason why we decided to stop here tonight specifically was because we heard it was actually a processing station for many prospective interns who are looking to get into the journalism business. Unfortunately, earlier this morning we had to fire our last intern, Kathy, who did not perform up to expectations last evening in Mexico. So we decided to come to Las Vegas and try to look for a few females who might be interested in supplying us with an intern for the next show or two, or hopefully an entire season if they could actually ever do their jobs and last that long. In the meantime, we're going to try to bring you some interviews with a few fans here in the Strip. We've already run into about 4 different Brewers fans, including some who had just gotten back from the Brewers spring training complex in Maryvale like us, and hopefully we can bring you those interviews tomorrow morning. So we're looking forward to a great night here in Las Vegas, a great day tomorrow, and we'll see where the rest of the week takes us. So until then, Scotty, take it away back at the studio.
All right, well, I guess whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but that's not necessarily true if you videotape it and then air it to the entire state of Wisconsin. But, all right, let's see what else you guys got.
All right, Brewers fans, we're here for the Brew Crew Review in Arizona again, and we are at the site of Camelback Mountain, which executive producer Mueller, Brandon, and myself are attempting to climb. Unfortunately, the sun is going down, so I'm not sure how long we're going to be at that or if we might get stranded in the mountains later on this evening. But hopefully we'll be able to bring you some reports later on tonight, again from Scottsdale, and in Maryvale tomorrow for the Brewers game. So hopefully we'll find a few Brewers fans out here on the mountains, and we'll be able to interview them and bring them to you, West Dallas, and around the state of Wisconsin. We'll capture some scenery around the area here, executive producer, so that the fans at home can get a bit of an idea of what we're looking at. It's very picturesque. You can see that there is some housing down in the valley areas below the mountain, but it's still very natural and wild up here as well. So until then, I guess we're going to have to take it back to you, Scott, at the studio, where we will hopefully be back with some more footage later and will not be getting eaten by any creatures here in the Camelback Mountain area tonight. All right, Scotty. This is Vince, Craig, and Brandon for the Brew Crew Review.
Scotty! Oh, hey, wow. That was really, really interesting stuff, you guys. I guess finally I'm getting word that you're actually going to... all right, we're actually going to get to some baseball footage. Excellent. Take it away.
All right, Brewers fans, this is Vince Travato here for the Brew Crew Review, and behind me is Maryvale Stadium, the spring training home of your Milwaukee Brewers. The stadium, of course, is empty right now. We actually came here to get some behind-the-scenes footage before the gates would open here at the stadium so that you in West Dallas and around the state of Wisconsin might be able to see a little bit more about our spring training complex. It's actually newer. It was built in 1998. I believe that was the first season that actual play took place here. But besides that, it's known as being one of the finest stadiums in the Cactus League and actually a fairly well-kept secret. So, Executive Producer Mueller, maybe you could pan around the stadium here a little bit, show the fans the seating bowl, the area behind the dugouts, and the old Brewers logo back behind home plate. As you can see, the grounds crew's fast at work. The Brewers are actually playing a game about 5 miles away from here in Peoria today against San Diego, which we're going to head to after this. But we wanted to come and get a little bit of behind-the-scenes footage for you around the Brewers spring training home. So. All right, Brewers fans, welcome to spring training here in beautiful Peoria Stadium, where the Brewers are currently taking on the San Diego Padres. Unfortunately, Zach Jackson had a rough fourth inning, and the Brewers are currently down 6-1, but we're hoping for a comeback here this afternoon. Brewers are bringing in a new pitcher as we speak. Not sure who it is yet, but we should know in a few seconds. As you can see, the day is beautiful. If any of you get a chance to come down here to spring training and check out the various ballparks around the area, certainly would be recommended. Of course, the Brewers Stadium in Maryvale, here in Peoria, where the Mariners and the Padres play. Surprise, Arizona with the Royals, and Scottsdale with the Giants are all great stadiums. I would not recommend going to Mesa for the Cubs because, well, they're our rival and we don't want to support them at all. But in any case, hopefully we're enjoying a Brewers come-from-behind victory today here in Peoria. And we'll be back shortly with a few more clips of hopefully a successful day and a Brewers win. All right, Scotty, back to you at the studio. This is Vince Travato for the Brew Crew Review, signing off.
Do you think they're going to make it okay? Do you think they'll make it back? I don't know. Chad?
They're right here, Scott. They're here.
Hello.
Oh.
Scott, we're
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, we made it back.
Next to you.
That was quite a good trip, wasn't it, Vince?
I had a great time, my friend.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Executive Producer Mueller and I traveled about 5,000 total miles. We saw
57 hours in the car.
Saw about 9 states, 2 different countries, and lots of baseball. Met lots of Brewers fans and several different places, as you saw in the footage. Scott, what did you think of our broadcast to you from our various locales?
Each segment was more interesting than the next.
Riveting, really.
I don't really know if you guys can leave for an extended period of time like that again.
Well,
Because I don't know if you know this, but I'm not the best host. I'm kind of more of like a sidekick kind of. I can't.
well,
Kind of like a color guy.
yeah, okay.
Right.
Sort of an analyst.
An analyst,
behind the scenes, yeah. Well, Brewers fans, Brew Crew Review fans, actually, we are going on vacation again. I know that, unfortunately, Scott's not going, so he will be hosting again. But Mr. Collins, Executive Producer Mueller, and myself are taking off this week on Thursday, or Wednesday night, actually, for the Brewers-Cardinals series in St. Louis, and then heading to Nashville, Tennessee again, where we will be seeing the Brewers AAA team in action, the Nashville Sounds, followed by another trip to Huntsville, Alabama, to see the Brewers AA team in action. So we got lots of baseball coming up, lots of traveling, lots of excitement. Lots more adventures, I'm sure. So, Scott, you're going to be hearing stuff back here at the studio live from us on this entire vacation. So it's fortunate that we have jobs where the studio will pay for these trips for us, and we're looking forward to bringing you many more. But this is our next one here in the future, so look forward to that on our next episode. And I don't know, Scott, you should be excited about being the host.
Yeah, I'm flattered that you guys would choose me with all 3 of you being gone.
It was kind
It's
of a
really-
numbers game, actually.
Right, I understand process of elimination
Mark
played a big
Antonia,
role.
Tom Carter, TC, and
But-
Junebug. I'll turn this down. Yeah,
You weren't supposed to say that.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it's edited. It'll be
But also missing from this special edition were segments I'll return next time, and that's Inside Miller Park segment. We're going to do prospect profiles. Will be back, and we're going to do, of course, we'll do around the horn. That's not what it's called.
Stepping up to the plate.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
plates.
That's
Come on,
right. Yeah.
executive producer.
So anyway, all those segments will be back next time. So in the meantime, if we also want to get more fan email read on the
Yeah,
mail. So if you
definitely.
have any fan emails, send it to
Definitely.
chad@brewcrewreview.com. If you have any problems with our website or any suggestions for our website, email that to scott@brewcrewreview.com.
That's
right.
And
Do it now.
Anything related to the show, you can email to me at craig@brewcrewreview.com. If you want improvements in our wardrobe, our interns, we can try for that. And of course, for those of you interns looking to apply, you can apply. Send your email to vince@brewcrewreview.com.
Yeah, make sure you send it. I want capital letters on the subject field that you're looking for a potential position with us. As I said, we get quite a few applications every week, so it's hard to determine. You want to stand out. If you really want to stand out, you can include a full resume along with a photo identification. It'll just make the process a little bit smoother.
If you don't all caps it, the current intern might not see it.
Well, the current intern has just been fired again, so.
Oh,
we're
Yeah,
Angela.
but
You
we
gotta
do
go
want to
through
thank
your own
Angela
email?
and Kathy.
Additionally, as we're
nothing.
taking some time to thank some people, I'd like to once again thank our camera crew, Bonnie and Lynn. I'd also like to make a special note of thanks to Joe Zdanek and his sister Susan, who decided to actually help out and improve our wardrobe this week. So thanks to Joe and Sue.
Thanks to Joe Orvet for this wonderful wood carving that we showed earlier.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah, so thanks. So again,
And our intern Kathy from Mexico.
exactly.
So
Again, thanks again for tuning in, and remember to check out our next episode. But until then,
Oh wait,
remember.
next episode we'll find out how many parking tickets or speeding tickets
That's
Greg
right.
got in Arizona. So you
well,
wanna
coupled
tune
with the
in for
fact that
one.
he's probably going to get a few more.
Might have
in
more.
Tennessee, hopefully. No offense, but we are pulling for you to get a few speeding. It's more of a test for the swearing intervention that we did earlier. So, yep.
Well, until our next episode, I want to remind everyone.
Stay classy, Wisconsin.
Look, the whole time you're saying it, just kind of stare at that tally light.
I can't.
What do you mean?
I can't look directly into it. It scares me.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction. 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 Satisfaction.
Want to do a take two?
I don't know. What else could I say? I'm running out of material here.
Why do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down and mess me around, and then worst of all, never thought, baby, when you say you will, but I love you still. I need you more than anyone, darling. You know that I have from the start. So build me up, buttercup, don't break my heart. I'll be over at 10, you told me time and again, but you're late. I waited round and then I run to the door. I can't take anymore. It's not you. You let me down again. Baby, baby, try to find a little time and I'll make you happy. I'll be home. I'll be beside the phone waiting for you.